Welcome back to another segment of fascinating plants around the globe.
You're probably looking at this picture and are currently thinking to yourself, what the heck is going on here? Well, friends, this is a picture of a plant called Hydnora Africana, and it can be found in some parts of Africa and southern Arabia, but it particularly inhabits southern Africa. It is known as the strangest plant on earth due to, well, for one, its strange appearance, obviously, as well as its lack of morphological features. This plant has no leaves and does not produce chlorophyll, which is usually what gives plants the ability to absorb energy from sunlight and produce their own food through photosynthesis. However, despite its lack of chlorophyll, it still does flower. How does it do that, you may ask? Well, it's a parasitic plant, and it's completely reliant on another plant called euphorbia. Each Hydnora attaches itself to the roots of euphorbia and begins extracting sugars, minerals, and water from the host plant. The Hydnora essentially begins growing a root system attached to the euphorbia, living completely underground until it's ready to reproduce, at which point it will begin to flower. This powerful flowering process has the ability of damaging infrastructure if it ever grows underneath pavement. However, most of Hydnora's life is below the surface of the soil. Not only does the Hydnora not look like the average flower, it also doesn't smell like one either. The plant emits an intense foul-smelling odor. Some say it's similar to the smell of animal carcass. Believe it or not, certain species of the Hydnora will increase their internal temperature in order to further spread this horrible smell to better attract pollinators. The flower attracts dung and carrion beetles, as well as flies who initially think that the smell is of a rotting carcass. Before we move on, I'm going to give you a second to look at this picture and let me know if it reminds you of something. Anyways, back to the pollinators. When these critters crawl inside the flower, the Hydnora traps them using these white thread-like structures that cross the gap between the sepals. After a few days, these threads are pulled apart and the pollinator can now escape. At this point, however, the flower is now pollinated and the plant begins growing a fruit underground. Then, when the animals eat that fruit, they spread Hydnora's seed and thus starts a new generation of parasitic plants. Fun fact about the Hydnora: despite the foul smell that this flower emits, the plant apparently produces quite delicious fruit. The fruit itself has thick and leathery skin, containing lots of seed embedded in the gel-like pulp, with a surprisingly sweet flavor. Crazy, right? The more you know. Considering that the plant spends the majority of its life underground, there's still a lot that we don't know about the Hydnora. Even scientists are yet to germinate their seeds in the lab. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in and join us next time.